First contact and misconceptions. The Karathi Empire's first glimpse of Earth came through the observation deck of the Imperial Scout vessel Dawning Light. To Senior Scout Vareen Kathor, the blue-green world looked unremarkable among the thousands of inhabited planets within the Empire's vast territory. Her mandibles clicked in mild interest as she reviewed the preliminary scans. Another industrial civilization, she noted in her report. Pre-stellar expansion phase, heavy manufacturing focus, significant atmospheric pollution. It was the standard profile of a young spacefaring race, hardly worth the Empire's attention, except for its location along a potentially valuable trade route. The Karathi Empire had dominated the galaxy for over 10,000 years through technological superiority. Their energy weapons could shatter moons, their shields could withstand supernovas, and their quantum computers could process the complexity of entire planetary ecosystems. They had seen countless civilizations rise and fall, and they had categorized humanity as just another primitive species taking its first steps into the cosmos. The initial contact proceeded according to standard protocol. The Empire dispatched their diplomatic vessels, established communication, and began the process of cultural exchange, their euphemism for technological assessment and resource evaluation. The humans proved surprisingly accommodating, eagerly sharing information about their manufacturing capabilities and industrial base. What puzzled the Imperial observers was the apparent contradiction in human technology. Their manufacturing methods seemed almost primitive, relying heavily on physical manipulation of materials rather than the Empire's preferred quantum assembly techniques. Their factories were dirty, loud affairs that produced simple mechanical devices through what appeared to be brute force methods. Yet these primitive factories produced results that sometimes matched or even exceeded Imperial standards for durability and reliability. A human-manufactured hull plate, while lacking the elegant crystalline structure of Imperial armor, proved remarkably resistant to energy weapons. Their projectile weapons, while seemingly archaic, demonstrated surprising effectiveness in penetrating advanced shields. "They're an anomaly," reported Chief Imperial Analyst Sixtel to the High Command. "Their manufacturing technology appears to be centuries behind ours, yet their products display characteristics that our best engineers struggle to replicate. It's as if they've taken an entirely different path of technological development." The Empire's initial response was to dismiss these observations as curiosities. After all, many young civilizations displayed unusual technological quirks before being properly integrated into the Imperial standard. But as more data flowed in, certain patterns began to emerge that disturbed the Imperial analysts. Every human factory, from the smallest workshop to the largest industrial complex, demonstrated an unusual degree of flexibility. Unlike Imperial facilities, which were highly specialized and took years to retool for different products, human manufacturing centers could switch production lines within days or even hours. More disturbing was the discovery that many of their civilian manufacturing processes were remarkably similar to those required for military production. The Empire's intelligence service began to take a deeper interest. They sent undercover agents to Earth disguised as trade representatives, technical advisors, and cultural exchanges. What they found was even more alarming than the initial reports suggested. Beneath the apparent simplicity of human manufacturing lay an intricate web of standardization and modularity. Components designed for civilian vehicles could, with minimal modification, be repurposed for military applications. Communication equipment shared common interfaces across civilian and military specifications. Even their primitive computer systems displayed an impressive degree of compatibility and adaptability. Their entire industrial base, one agent reported, is effectively a dormant weapons factory. Any facility capable of producing civilian vehicles could be converted to tank production within weeks. Their communication equipment manufacturers could switch to military-grade systems with minimal retooling. Even their medical equipment production lines share commonalities with weapons systems assembly. The Imperial High Command received these reports with growing concern. The humans had not developed their technology this way by accident. Every aspect of their manufacturing infrastructure suggested careful planning for rapid military mobilization. Their primitive technology was not a sign of technological backwardness, but rather a deliberate choice favoring reliability, adaptability, and ease of mass production. As the first year of contact drew to a close, the Empire's assessment of Earth had shifted dramatically. What had initially appeared to be a simple industrial world now revealed itself as something far more dangerous, a civilization that had transformed its entire manufacturing base into a latent weapons forge, capable of switching from peaceful production to full military output at a moment's notice. The question that haunted Imperial planners was simple. Was this elaborate preparation defensive in nature, or did it indicate humanity harbored more ambitious plans for their future role in the galaxy? The answer would come sooner than anyone expected, and it would shake the foundations of the Empire's confidence in its technological superiority. The Hidden Arsenal. Imperial High Command convened an emergency session in the crystalline spires of the capital world Kareth Prime. The holographic displays showed detailed scans of Earth's industrial centers, each pulsing with activity that seemed innocuous on the surface, but carried disturbing implications. Look at this pattern. Fleet Admiral Zexera pointed to a cluster of facilities in what the humans called North America. These supposedly civilian electronics manufacturers all produce components that could be easily modified for military guidance systems. The precision, the quality control, it's all there, just waiting to be repurposed. The evidence was becoming impossible to ignore. Every week brought new revelations about humanity's manufacturing capabilities. What had first appeared as technological inefficiency now revealed itself as brilliant pragmatism. Where imperial factories required exotic materials and perfect conditions, human facilities could produce comparable results using readily available resources and robust processes that functioned even in suboptimal conditions. Most alarming was the discovery of what imperial analysts termed shadow capabilities, manufacturing processes that seemed needlessly precise for their civilian applications but matched exactly what would be needed for military production. A factory producing civilian vehicles maintained tolerances far beyond what was necessary for ground transport, but perfect for aerospace applications. Medical imaging equipment shared suspicious similarities with targeting systems. The Empire dispatched their finest industrial spies to investigate further. They expected to find secret military facilities hidden beneath the civilian facade. Instead, they found something far more unsettling. There were no hidden factories. Every facility was exactly what it claimed to be. The military potential lay not in secret installations, but in the fundamental design of human manufacturing itself. They'd done something unprecedented, reported Chief Technology Analyst Vera Kamol. Rather than maintaining separate civilian and military industrial bases, they've integrated the capabilities. Every civilian factory is built to military specifications. Their entire manufacturing sector is effectively a dormant military-industrial complex that can be activated at will. The implications staggered the imperial strategists. Traditional military analysis focused on counting weapons, ships, and active production facilities. But how did one quantify the threat of an entire civilization's manufacturing base that could transform itself into a war machine at a moment's notice? Further investigation revealed the true extent of human preparation. Their power grid was decentralized and hardened against attack. Their transportation networks featured redundant systems and standardized interfaces. Even their civilian communication networks were built to military-grade specifications for reliability and security. It's as if they've been preparing for war for their entire industrial history, observed one analyst. But not through obvious military buildup. They've done it by making their entire civilization resilient and adaptable. The Empire's usual methods of technological assessment proved inadequate. Human manufacturing capabilities couldn't be measured by the sophistication of their current military equipment, but rather by their potential to produce and adapt. Their strength lay not in the weapons they possessed, but in their ability to create new ones quickly and in overwhelming numbers. A classified report circulated among the highest levels of imperial leadership painted a stark picture. Human manufacturing philosophy prioritizes simplicity, reliability, and adaptability over absolute performance. Their technology can be produced quickly, repaired easily, and modified extensively. In a protracted conflict, their ability to replace losses and adapt their equipment would likely exceed our own, despite our theoretical technological superiority. This revelation sent shockwaves through the imperial military establishment. The Empire's strategic doctrine had always relied on overwhelming technological superiority. They had never encountered a civilization that had so thoroughly prepared for the possibility of technological parity through sheer industrial capability. Some imperial advisors advocated for immediate action to contain this potential threat. Others argued for careful diplomatic engagement, warning that any aggressive move might trigger the very mobilization they feared. The debate raged through secure quantum channels across the Empire. But one thing was clear. They had severely underestimated humanity's potential for war. As if to underscore these concerns, human manufacturing capabilities continued to advance. New factories arose with even greater flexibility and efficiency. Civilian research projects produced innovations with obvious military applications. Each development added to the Empire's growing unease. The Empire had discovered countless civilizations throughout its history, but none quite like humanity. Other races built weapons. Humans had built something far more dangerous, an entire civilization optimized for rapid conversion to military production. The question was no longer whether humanity posed a potential threat, but how to handle a species that had so thoroughly prepared itself for galactic-scale conflict while maintaining the appearance of peaceful industrial development. The stage was set for a confrontation that would redefine the balance of power in the galaxy. The Empire's next move would determine whether humanity's hidden arsenal would remain dormant or transform into the war machine it was designed to become. The Great Deception, the Empire's first serious attempt to probe humanity's true capabilities, came not through military action, but through corporate espionage. The Kirathi Trade Consortium, acting under direct orders from Imperial High Command, proposed a series of joint manufacturing ventures with Earth's largest industrial corporations. Their true purpose was not commerce, but comprehensive technological assessment. The Empire expected to finally uncover the secret advanced technology they believed humans must be hiding. Instead, they encountered something that challenged their fundamental understanding of technological progress. There are no hidden quantum processors, no secret energy weapons, reported senior industrial observer Krian Vol. Their technological advancement isn't concealed in classified research facilities. It's hidden in plain sight, in their fundamental approach to manufacturing and design. The humans' apparent technological simplicity masked a profound sophistication in systems integration and industrial organization. Their factories weren't built around single, complex machines, but networks of simpler, interchangeable components. Their supply chains weren't optimized for efficiency in peacetime, but for resilience under stress. Most revealing was their approach to automation, where imperial factories relied on highly specialized robots and artificial intelligence. Human facilities maintained a balance between automation and human operators. At first, this seemed inefficient until imperial observers realized it allowed for rapid retooling and adaptation that their own rigid automated systems couldn't match. They're not trying to hide their capabilities, one frustrated imperial analyst noted. We've been looking for secrets that don't exist. Their strength isn't in hidden technology. It's in their entire approach to industrialization. The deception, the Empire realized, wasn't in what humanity was hiding, but in what they had led others to assume about their technological philosophy. While the Empire pursued ever more exotic and complex technologies, humanity had perfected the art of achieving maximum effect with minimum complexity. A classified imperial study revealed the true extent of this deception. Human manufacturing centers deemed primitive by initial surveys could match or exceed imperial production rates in many categories. Their simple weapons, while lacking the sophistication of imperial arms, could be produced in vastly greater numbers with fewer resource constraints. The Empire's attempts to gain technological advantage through the joint ventures backfired spectacularly. Human engineers quickly grasped the principles behind Imperial technology, while Imperial engineers struggled to replicate the efficiency and adaptability of human manufacturing methods. "They're learning from us faster than we're learning from them," warned Chief Imperial Scientist Fox Cadal. More concerning, they're not just copying our technology, they're adapting it to their manufacturing philosophy. They're making our own innovations more efficient and easier to mass produce. The humans' ability to reverse engineer and simplify complex technologies alarmed Imperial leadership. Several classified Imperial weapons programs were suspended when analysts realized that humans could potentially replicate and mass produce similar capabilities using their more robust manufacturing methods. Perhaps most disturbing was the discovery of humanity's parallel development programs. For every civilian technology they shared openly, investigation revealed multiple military applications under development. Their seemingly straightforward space program masked advanced propulsion research. Their civilian power systems contained principles applicable to weapon design. "The entire human technological base is essentially dual-use," concluded one Imperial report. "They haven't devoted resources to developing specialized military technology because they haven't needed to. Their civilian infrastructure can be converted to military production more efficiently than maintaining separate development programs." This revelation forced the Empire to radically reassess its strategic position. Humanity's potential military capability couldn't be measured by their current armed forces, but by their entire industrial capacity. Every factory, research lab, and production facility represented potential military output that could be activated at need. The Empire's traditional metrics for evaluating military potential proved useless. How does one quantify the threat posed by a civilization whose peaceful industries could become weapons factories virtually overnight? How does one contain a species that had mastered the art of hiding military potential within civilian infrastructure? As the Empire grappled with these questions, humanity continued their steady technological advancement. Each peaceful innovation, each new manufacturing technique, each improvement in their industrial base added to their potential military capability. The deception, if it could even be called that, was perfect in its transparency. The Empire had discovered that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't any piece of technology. It was their entire approach to technological development and industrial organization. They had created something unprecedented. A civilization whose peaceful productivity was inseparable from its capacity for war. Crisis point. The Karathi Empire's patience finally broke during what became known as the Proxima Incident. A routine Imperial patrol attempted to assert dominance over a human mining operation in the Proxima Centauri system, expecting the supposedly inferior human ships to withdraw. The resulting confrontation would shatter Imperial assumptions about human military capability. The human vessels, while appearing less advanced than their Imperial counterparts, demonstrated combat effectiveness that shocked Imperial commanders. Their weapons, while technologically simpler, proved devastatingly effective. More alarming was their ship's ability to absorb damage that should have been fatal and continue fighting. "They've built their ships like their factories," reported the surviving Imperial commander. "Everything has redundant systems. Nothing is too complex to repair in combat. They don't need superior technology. They've mastered the art of surviving and adapting." The incident escalated rapidly. The Empire, believing it could intimidate humanity into submission, dispatched a battle fleet to Earth. It was intended as a show of force, a reminder of Imperial technological superiority. Instead, it became a demonstration of humanity's preparedness for exactly this type of confrontation. Earth's response was immediate and comprehensive. Civilian factories smoothly transitioned to military production. Orbital construction platforms began producing warships using standardized components. Ground-based industries shifted to weapons manufacturing with practiced efficiency. The speed of humanity's military mobilization stunned Imperial observers. Facilities that had been producing civilian goods one day were outputting military equipment the next. Communications networks seamlessly switched to military protocols. Transportation systems reorganized for strategic movement. "It's not just their factories," reported one panicked Imperial analyst. "Their entire civilization is designed to transform for war. Every piece of infrastructure, every production line, every communication network, it's all dual purpose. We're not facing a military buildup. We're watching an entire civilization transform into a war machine." The Empire's threatening fleet found itself facing not just Earth's standing military forces, but an exponentially growing industrial output. Human ships, while individually less advanced, emerged from shipyards in overwhelming numbers. Their weapons, while simpler, could be produced and replaced faster than Imperial defenses could counter them. Most concerning to Imperial commanders was humanity's rapid adaptation to Imperial military technology. Each engagement provided humans with data they quickly used to modify their tactics and equipment. Their decentralized manufacturing allowed them to implement improvements across their entire military production almost immediately. "They're not fighting the way we expected," observed Fleet Admiral Xark Toll. "We anticipated a technological confrontation, but they're waging an industrial war. They don't need to match our technology. They're overwhelming it with numbers and adaptability." The Empire's attempt at intimidation had triggered exactly what they had feared: the full activation of humanity's latent military potential. Every passing day saw human military capability increase as more civilian infrastructure converted to war production. The elegant Imperial warships found themselves facing waves of simpler but extremely effective human vessels. Imperial intelligence reported an even more disturbing development. Human manufacturing capabilities weren't just converting to military production, they were improving it. Each new wave of weapons and ships incorporated lessons learned from previous encounters. Their industrial base wasn't just producing war materials, it was evolving them in real time. "Their entire approach to warfare is different," noted one Imperial strategist. "We focus on achieving technological superiority. They focus on achieving production superiority. We try to win through advanced technology. They try to win through overwhelming industrial capacity and rapid adaptation." The crisis reached its peak when human forces demonstrated their ability to not just resist Imperial military power, but potentially overcome it. Their ships, now produced in vast numbers and incorporating rapidly evolving countermeasures to Imperial technology, began pushing Imperial forces back. The Empire faced a crucial decision. Their attempt to intimidate humanity had backfired catastrophically, revealing instead the true extent of human military potential. Continuing the confrontation would mean facing an opponent whose industrial capacity was fully mobilized and growing stronger each day. More worrying was the realization that even an Imperial victory would come at an unprecedented cost. Humanity's decentralized manufacturing meant that destroying their military capability would require essentially destroying their entire civilization, a task that would strain even the Empire's vast resources. As the crisis deepened, both sides recognized the need for a diplomatic solution. The Empire had learned a costly lesson about the true nature of human military power. Humanity had demonstrated that technological superiority alone was no guarantee of military dominance. The stage was set for a fundamental shift in the galactic balance of power. The question was no longer whether humanity could resist Imperial power, but how their demonstration of industrial military might would reshape galactic politics. A new balance of power. The negotiations between humanity and the Carathi Empire took place on neutral ground, a space station orbiting Jupiter. The setting itself reflected the new reality. Human engineering had transformed a simple refueling station into a fortified diplomatic facility in a matter of weeks, demonstrating once again their remarkable industrial adaptability. Imperial diplomats arrived expecting to negotiate from a position of strength. Instead, they found themselves facing human representatives who understood their newfound leverage perfectly. The recent crisis had demonstrated that humanity's industrial base was not just a defensive asset, but a fundamental source of military power. "We don't seek conflict," the human diplomatic chief stated in the opening session, "but we've spent our entire industrial history preparing for it. Every factory, every production line, every technological development has been designed with dual purpose. We can maintain peace or wage war with equal efficiency." The Empire's negotiators struggled to adapt to this new paradigm. Their traditional diplomatic approach relied on technological superiority as leverage. But humanity had demonstrated that superior technology alone wasn't enough when faced with overwhelming industrial capacity and adaptability. The fundamental mistake, admitted one imperial advisor privately, was assuming that technological sophistication was the only measure of military power. The humans showed us that the ability to produce and adapt quickly is equally important, if not more so. The resulting treaty represented a dramatic shift in galactic politics. The Empire formally recognized humanity's right to maintain and develop their unique industrial base. In return, humanity agreed to share some of their manufacturing innovations, though notably not their military applications. "We're not exchanging military secrets," the human negotiators explained. "We're sharing basic industrial principles. How you apply them is your choice, just as how we apply them is ours." This seemingly generous offer masked a subtle strategic victory. The humans knew that their approach to manufacturing and industrial organization couldn't simply be copied. It was the result of centuries of development and was deeply embedded in their entire civilization. The treaty's most significant provisions weren't about weapons or territory, but about trade and industrial development. The Empire agreed to remove restrictions on human manufacturing expansion, while humanity guaranteed peaceful application of their industrial capacity, while maintaining their right to convert it for military use if threatened. "It's a unique arrangement," noted one imperial analyst. "We're essentially acknowledging their right to maintain a civilian economy that can become a military-industrial complex at a moment's notice. We're accepting their industrial base as both a peaceful manufacturing center and a latent superweapon." The implications of this new arrangement rippled through galactic society. Other species began studying human manufacturing methods, trying to understand how they had achieved such efficient dual-use capabilities. Some attempted to replicate humanity's approach, only to discover that it required fundamental changes to their entire industrial philosophy. Perhaps most significantly, the crisis had revealed a new form of deterrence. Humanity's ability to rapidly convert peaceful industry to military production meant that any potential aggressor would have to consider not just their current military strength, but their total industrial capacity. "The humans have changed the nature of military power," observed one imperial strategic analyst. "It's no longer just about the weapons you have, but about how quickly you can produce them, how easily you can adapt them, and how efficiently you can replace them." This new understanding led to a period of unprecedented stability. The Empire, while maintaining its technological edge, had to acknowledge that technology alone wasn't enough to guarantee military supremacy. Humanity, while capable of massive military production, demonstrated a preference for peaceful industrial development. The humans continued their technological advancement, but always following their established pattern, prioritizing adaptability, reliability, and ease of production over pure technological sophistication. Their factories grew more efficient, their manufacturing methods more advanced, but always maintaining the ability to convert to military production if needed. "We don't build weapons" became a common human diplomatic statement. "We build factories that can build weapons. We don't maintain a massive military-industrial complex. We maintain a massive industrial complex that can become military when necessary." This philosophy proved contagious. Other species began incorporating elements of human industrial organization into their own manufacturing, creating more resilient and adaptable economies. The galaxy began to shift away from pure technological competition toward a more balanced approach that valued industrial capability alongside technological advancement. The final irony wasn't lost on imperial historians. In attempting to prevent humanity from becoming a military power, The Empire had forced them to reveal the true extent of their industrial military potential. In trying to maintain technological superiority, they had discovered that technology alone wasn't enough. The new galactic order that emerged wasn't based on technological dominance or military might, but on a complex balance between different forms of power. The Empire maintained its technological edge, humanity kept its industrial adaptability, and other species developed their own unique strengths. Peace was maintained not through overwhelming force, but through mutual understanding of each civilization's capabilities. The humans had demonstrated that true power lay not in the weapons one possessed, but in the ability to produce them when needed. It was a lesson that would shape galactic politics for centuries to come.